Hey everyone, welcome back to our station. So in this video, we're going to review through what I think will happen in the Total Energies BWF World Championship 2025, which is going to happen in 5 days' time, as of the recording of this video. So these are all the defending champions, but unfortunately, I think we all know that the this will not happen because the new partner or the current partner of Seo will be Kim Won-ho, as well as the absence of this women's doubles means that they will not be able to defend the title. And another doubles which will not be able to defend the title is the double world champion Seo and also Chae Yu-jung. But the rest, Kun Lavut and An Se-young will still have a chance to be a double world champion. So I think nonetheless, we all know that this BWF World Championship is like the World Cup of football, which is almost like the highest of the highest accolade that an athlete can dream to achieve. So definitely everyone will go all out to capture this title. Let's begin with the mixed doubles category. Now you can see that what I have shown here is just snapshots of from the BWF official website. This is the top half, and I think easily we can already identify those who will be clashing in the round of 16. This would be definitely be the red hot favorite would definitely be Huang Dongping and Feng Yanze. They have an impressive record of I think 27 or 28 wins out of 31 or 32 matches. They have only lost like 3 matches this year. So definitely they will be the pair to beat. And their path is, they should have little resistance, perhaps a little bit from Changqing and Zhang Shi, but I don't think they will have any problem to overcome that. And if it does happen as what I've said, very likely they will be clashing with Tom Kiel and Delphine Deroux, the home favorite for sure. Now, this French doubles can be a pretty dangerous pair to play with, simply because Delphine Deroux is actually quite a strong athlete. As a woman player, I do believe that she is one of the stronger ones. So she can handle the front court and the back court. So this will be an advantage to this pair. But nevertheless, if they do clash with Wang and Feng, I do believe the Chinese pair will still have the advantage in the quarterfinals. The next will be Chen Tangji and Hou Yiwei. But their route will not be that easy because they will be facing the up and coming Indonesian young pair of Jafar and Felicia. And this match, I do think that it will be almost a 50-50 match. But I picked Chen and To over Jafar and Felicia simply based on their superior head-to-head record of, I think, 2 or 3 to 0. If Chen and To play to their best, they should be able to win. But if they again show a rather shaky performance, they could be defeated by the Indonesian pair. Their opponent will likely be Tang Chunman and Se Yingxuan. Now, of course, Tang and Se should have a little resistance, should be facing a little resistance from maybe the Indonesian pair, but I do believe they should be able to prevail. And against very likely Dhruv Kapila and Tanisha Krasko, they shouldn't have much of a problem to overcome them. And should they clash with Chen and To, I do believe they have an advantage. But having said that, in the semi-finals, my pick will be Hong Dong-ping and Feng Yanzi up against the Hong Kong veterans. The outcome, I think you all will know, but I will show you in the next couple of slides. At the bottom half of the draw for the quarterfinals, the clear favorite would be Guo Xinghua and Chen Fanghui, the reigning All England champion. They should be facing very little resistance, perhaps tad bit of resistance from Yang and Hu, but I do believe they have the capability to overcome that. And their opponent will probably 99% be Dechapol and Supisara, another very consistent pair this year. So they will definitely be a pair to watch out for in the World Championship. And should they clash, my pick would be Dechapol and Supisara in the quarterfinals. So their opponent would be either Goh Sun Huat and Siwon Jamie Lai. Now they do have a rather easy path, and in the round of 16, their opponent could likely be. It's difficult to say, but perhaps they could be meeting their counterpart from Malaysia, Ho Kwang Ron and Chen Su Yin. Anyway, so Go and Jamie should be able to make it to the round of 16 at least. And their opponent in turn will, I would say 100% be Zhang Zhenbang and Wei Yasing, another strong pair from China. And should they clash, I do believe they will be the hot favorite. Now, Dechapol against Zhang Zhenbang, sorry, I do believe that the Chinese will prevail. So my final pick will be an all-Chinese clash between the top two seeds, I think, Feng and Huang against their counterpart, and my favorite to be the champion would be Huang and Feng, simply because of their way superior head-to-head record. I think currently it stands in 10 against 2 or something like that. So they will definitely be the hot favorite to be crowned the world champion for this edition. Next up, we have the women's doubles, and I don't think we need to say much about this. Liu Shengshu and Han Ning will be the red hot favorite to defeat their counterpart in the round of 16, Jia Yifan and Zhang Fuxian, who also has a very easy pathway. Their opponent could be either Pek Hana or Li So-hee, who should be able to advance, probably with a little bit of resistance from the Indonesian young pair, but I do believe they have the ability to reach the round of 16. And Beck and Lee will likely be facing another Chinese pair, Li Yijing and Luo Shumin. Now with this, now Beck and Lee hasn't had a very great year this year. I do not know the reason. So for this, I do think that Li Yijing and Luo Shumin should be able to make it, but clashing with their own counterpart, with their own teammates, I don't think they stand a chance at all, because Liu and Tang is simply at a class of their own for this year at least. At the bottom half, Kim and Kong should be having it easy to make it to the round of 16. Their opponent will be very likely to be Nami and Chiharu Shieda. Now, should they clash, I do believe Kim and Kong will have the advantage simply because Nami Matsuyama is still being beleaguered by, I think, injury to her back or something. So it will be very difficult for Nami and Shida to bring out their best to defeat the Korean, who has also been having quite a tremendous year this year. so far. At the other side, Yuki Fukushima and Mayu Matsumoto, the veterans from the Japan, should be able to make it. It should be quite a very clear pathway for them. And their opponent uh, could very likely be Pearly Tan and Tina Murari Taran. But Tina and Pearly may not have it that easily because likely they will be having a little bit of resistance from the Indonesian pair of Landria Mayasari and Siti Fadia. But having said that, based on Pearly and Tina's recent performance, at least for the past 3 months, they have been rather consistent. They have discovered their mojo and they have also been consistently defeating big pairs from Japan, Korea, so and in Indonesia, of course. So I do believe that if they are able to maintain that momentum and consistency, they should be able to clash with Yuki Fukushima and Mayu Matsumoto. And should they clash, I do believe they are a slight favorite simply because they have had quite a good head-to-head record against the Japanese pair, especially recently. I do believe they have enjoyed quite a number of good wins against the Japanese veterans. But should they clash with Kim and Kong, this will be interesting, right? I do believe Kim and Kong will have the slight advantage over the Malaysian pair. So my final pick will be definitely Liu and Tan against the Kim and Kong. Um, the great hot favorite for sure will be Liu Shengshu and Tan Ning. For the men's doubles, you can immediately see a surprise uh, because I do believe more than 70 or 80% of us will be thinking that Kim Won Ho and Seo Sung Jae will be able to go all the way to even capture the world crown. But I would like to beg to differ, and instead I would be picking Leo Rolly Canando and Bagas Malana. Now my justification is that Kim and Seo has I think have a little bit of a dip in form ever since they have conquered the world number one ranking. I think this is also quite a natural phenomenon. If you notice, like even their predecessor, the Kosovi and Rizzuddin, once they have captured the top ranking spot, they'll face a little bit of struggle to win big matches after that. So that's my first reason. I do think Kim and Seo will be having a lot of pressure generated internally because they know that they are now the world number one. They know that they are now the team the pair to beat. So that will be an added extra, some added pressure to them, especially Kim Won Ho, because I do believe Seo has the broader and greater mental capacity to handle that. Well, he is our double world champion after all. But against the second reason why I think they will fall against the Indonesian pair is if you look at the only matches that Kim and Seo have lost this year, not many, probably five or maybe five times, yeah. And you can see that most of their matches that they lost, they have actually lost to the pairs from either Indonesia or Malaysia. So this is very interesting. I do believe that probably it's because of the playing style of the Indonesian. Now, bear in mind, even Malaysian doubles, they are also coached by Indonesian coaches. So, Malaysian pairs definitely will have a little bit of the Indonesian element in the way they play. So probably that is the way where we focus on the quality of the first three shots. We focus on the fast and furious flat drives, right? So quick kills. So probably this is something that Kim and Seo might be still struggling to break that. So my pick will be Leo and Bagas Maulana. Now, should they be able to make it to the round of 16, uh, their opponent, it's a little bit to pick, but perhaps I may have a little bit of faith or with one and T. Well, they have had quite a good year, but they have also had a string of bad results this year as well. Again, their issue with consistency is something that is beleaguering also many other Malaysian pairs. So, but if they're able to really discover their red hot form, I think it was in they did pretty well in the first league of the Southeast Asian circuit. So if they could bring out that quality of play, fast and furious, flat drives, leaving little room for their opponents to smash. So I do believe they should be able to justify their higher seed top billing in this section of the draw. Of course, they should be expecting some difficult challenges from either Ben Lane, Sean Wendy, or Kim Gi-jung and Kim Sara. Now, keep in mind, Man and Lee has never defeated Kim Gi-jung and Kim Sara before in their past 3 encounters. So, what they are hoping for is for Ben and Sean to stop the advance of Kim Gi-jung and Kim Sara, and so that they can have an easier match in the round of 16. But if should Kim and Kim be their opponent in the round of 16, that will be severely denting their chances of making to the round of I mean the quarterfinals. Yeah. The other side, we do see Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Arianto to be a favorite. Now, of course, their clash against Takuro Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi will be a good match to watch. It will be an interesting encounter simply because of their close head-to-head record. I think it was uh, 3 or 4 to the Japanese and 5 to the Indonesian. But I picked Fajar and Rian over the Japanese pair simply because if I remember correctly, if I read correctly, Fajar and Alfian, this will be their last match, I mean their last tournament together, if I'm not wrong, because Indonesia will be experimenting the new pairing of Fajar Alfian with Fikri. Fikri and Rian will be with Jeremiah Rabitan. So since this could be their last tournament together, I do believe they will go all out. And Fajar, bear in mind, Fajar Alfian should be brimming with confidence, having won the Super 1000 China Open recently with his new partner, Fitri. They have been in blistering form. They demolished Kim and Seo. They demolished Aaron Chia and So Yi to capture that title in just their second tournament together. So Alfian and Rian will definitely be on a high, at least Fajar Alfian. At the bottom part, we do see I do foresee another mini upset. I do believe that Wang Qilin and Chiu Xiangqie should be able to clash with Kim and Anders, and I do believe that Wang Qilin has quite a good record playing against this Danish pair. So this is another surprise or upset that I think could be happening. The bottom half, we have I will be predicting another upset. The Danish pair, Rasmus Kaiser and Frederick Sugat. I think could be able to upset the more fancy pair from Indonesia, Sabah and Moreza. Yeah, this is the third upset in the men's doubles category, which I think will happen. And against Chen Boyang and Liu Yi, I do think the Danish has a little bit of an advantage. As also simply because they are now playing in the European circuit, so maybe the playing at the home soil or rather the continent soil might give them a little bit of an advantage. Their opponent very likely will be the former world number one, Bosefe and Nur Izzuddin, but they will be facing a little bit of challenge. It could be a significant challenge from Lee Zhehui and Yang Poswan. But should the Go and Izzuddin play their usual best, they should be able to make it. Over the other half, we do foresee another interesting match, another interesting clash between Satvik and Chirag Shetty against Yang Weikeng and Wang Chang. But based on their head-to-head record and based on the fact that Satvik and Chirag is still nowhere near their best, I do think the Chinese pair will stage. And their opponent should be Aaron Xia and So Wei Yik. Barring any upset, and they could be clashing. Their challenger would likely be the Chapo and Catherine, but they should be able to make it past the Thai pair. Now, should they clash, I will be picking the Chinese pair over the Aaron Chen and So Wei, simply because of their way superior 8 against 3 head-to-head record, and also Liang and Wang, they have not been performing for so many tournaments this year. I do believe they will be bouncing back. The World Championship may be the best platform for them to bounce back, because the Chinese, one thing I admire about the Chinese players is that they tend to they will never give up especially after a string of bad or relatively bad results. They will be determined and all out to try to reverse their situation. So I do believe Liang and Wang should be able to edge past the former world champion from Malaysia. And should they be clashing with very likely Izzuddin and Bosefe, again, they should be the favorite. They have a 3-1 head-to-head record against the Indonesian. Having said that, in the final, my pick will be Fajar Alfian and Rian Ardianto, simply because of this could likely be their last tournament together. Fajar Alfian is on a high, and Rian definitely will not want their partnership to end in demoralizing or in a poor way, right? So I do believe they will be making it to the final and clashing with Liang and Wang. I do believe the Indonesian pair will have a slight advantage. So that would be for the men's doubles. Over to the singles category. Let's begin with the women's singles. Women's singles should be rather straightforward. We have An Se-yong at the top. Over here, I think Sim Yoo-jin will have a rather good pathway, but she might be facing a little bit of resistance from Gregoria Mariska Tunjung. We all know that Gregoria has been suffering from many injuries, many health issues. So the fact that she can compete is already, I think she mentioned that the fact that she's still able to compete is already a bonus for her. So it really depends. If Gregoria is able to show her A grade, then I think Sim Yoo-jin will be defeated by her. But looking at the current condition, I do believe Sim Yoo-jin should should be able to seize the opportunity, the golden opportunity to make it to the round 16 to clash with her teammate from Korea. Over this side, Chen Yunfei should have very little problem to make it to the round of 16. Potentially, she might be having some form of challenge from Ratchanok, but we all know that Ratchanok is far from her best, so I do believe Chen should have it easy. The bottom part, Kwanpawi Chochu Wong also has quite a comfortable pathway to the round of 16. Probably her challenger will be Yo Jamin, but I do believe she has the ability to make it to the round of 16. Now, of course, the semi-final clash will be An Se-yong against Chen Yufei. I think very likely, 99%. But who will I pick for the win? We'll see later. The bottom half, we have Akane Yamaguchi, who should be able to make it. I do see some positive signs from her recent performance. She's also another player who is far from her best, but she's slowly regaining her form, regaining her momentum. So, but she could be facing a little bit of resistance from Kim Ga-eun and Supanida Kateton. So, but I do think she has the ability to make it to the quarterfinals. The bottom part, Han Yue should be having it easy, but perhaps the challenger should be Gao Fangjie. If she can overcome that, then the quarterfinal slot should be in her hand. The other side, we have Putri Kusuma Wardani, who will be clashing very likely again with Tomoka Miyazaki. It should be a match to watch for sure. But I think Tomoka has been hitting a slump in form. She's struggling to play. Once she has broken into the top 10, I can see that she's struggling to maybe maintain her composure, and whereas Putri Kusuma Wadani has been showing quite a decent string of results lately, so she will be the favorite. And at the bottom part, Wang Ziyi will be the clear favorite. Nothing much that we can say. We should say about it. Now, should this happen, Akane against Han Yue, my pick will be Han Yue, and Wang Ziyi should be able to make it past Putri. And if they clash, we'll see. The finals will be, my pick will be Chen Yufei over An Se-yong. Simply because I think An Se-yong recently withdrew from her match in the semi-finals in the China Open, if I'm not wrong, citing some discomfort in her legs or something like that. So with that said in mind, I do believe Chen Yufei has the slight advantage, and her opponent will likely be Wang Ziyi. And should they clash, I think Chen Yufei should be able to make it past her teammate. Though Wang Ziyi has a much better form this year, but I do believe their head-to-head record is in favor of Chen Yufei. Last but not least, the men's singles category. We do have another upset I am predicting. Of course, everyone will fancy Shi Yuqi, right? But he will face two hurdles. First, Laksha Sen, and second, very likely to be Christo Popov. Now, I am picking Christo Popov simply because he's definitely the home favorite for sure. He has been playing very good badminton this year. He has been outshining his brother, Thomas Junior Popov, in many ways. And I think even in their recent clash against Yuichi, it was quite a pretty tight encounter where in the I think it was in the first game I think Crystal lost like 24 to 26 or something like that. So and he lost because of questionable judge ruling on over the net. So tough luck for Crystal, but I am hoping to see that this upset will happen, right? Crystal Popov, hopefully he will be able to create that upset. His opponent, again, this you can say it is, you can say it is not an upset. I think Alex Daniel has shown that he is another player to watch. Another strong men's singles from France. It's a very, I think this is a golden era for France in terms of badminton, at least from men's singles point of view. So Alex Daniel definitely will be the favorite. As should he be able to make it to the round of 16, his opponent will likely be Wen Hongyang. Yeah, this Wen Hongyang can be a very tricky opponent. He can be a super tough nut to crack, but he can also be a highly vulnerable player. So it really depends on his form of the day for that tournament. But should Wen Hongyang be able to make it to clash with Alex, it will be an interesting match to watch. Nevertheless, we should not rule out the chance of Li Jiahao as well. I think he was the All England runners-up, if I'm not wrong. So, but yeah, two French players clashing in the quarterfinals in the World Championship, that could happen. His opponent could be either Lu Guangzhou. Now, this is another very interesting section of the draw because we will be seeing one of the most celebrated player in the world, Li Zijia, who is back to active playing after months of recovery from his injury and all that. So Li Zijia will definitely be the player that everyone is keeping an eye on. And his first match is not as easy as it seems because John Hyuk Jin is a fine player, he's a rather fine player. But Li Zijia should have the edge, I think. But clashing against Li Shifeng, I think Li Zijia has been struggling against Chinese players for many years. So Li Shifeng definitely will be the red hot favorite to make it. And should that happen, should he be clashing Lu Guangzhou, Lu Guangzhou will be the hot favorite because of his superior head-to-head record against Li Shifeng. I think their clash was like 3-0. So Lu Guangzhou, surprisingly, is my bet for a surprising quarterfinalist. His opponent is another former world champion, the Lo Ken Yu, I think. Now, of course, everyone might be picking Kodai Naraoka, but I think Lo Ken Yu can have the chance to create a mini upset against Kodai Naraoka. So this is another surprise pick for me. At the bottom half, this man hasn't been on a good form lately. Has been suffering from multiple first round exits. I think since he switched over to Victor, who was formerly using Rolex, I think he has been struggling, but his pathway is rather okay. Um, he might be facing some challenge from Hoki, but he has a superior head-to-head record. And over the top, he might be clashing with Lee Chok Yu in the round of 16. But I do think it is time for Jonathan Christie to wake up from his slump, and World Championship should be a good platform for him. His opponent, I am picking another upset, I think, could be happening. Alwi Farhan, another young, fast, upcoming, uprising, up and coming potential and very promising player from Indonesia. Now, his route, he might be facing some challenge against Lin Chunyi or even Rasmus, but he should be able to make it. And if he is able to make it, it will be interesting for him to clash with Kundavut, the defending world champion. Their previous encounters has been rather close. So yeah, but I think Alwi Farhan is the player to shine in this section of the draw. Kunawut, I think again, just like many other world number one players, has been hitting some maybe some mental block, showing some pretty poor set of results recently. So Awi will be my pick. The other half, Chou Tianchen should have it easy all the way to the quarterfinals. And his opponent would likely be Anders Andersen. Now, Anders will have some challenge from HS Pranoy, but we know Pranoy is far from his best. I think he's already in the twilight of his career, so Anders will have the advantage. His likely challenger could be Thomas Junior Popov. Anthony Ginting is back for the tournament after I don't know how many months, so it will be difficult for him to challenge Thomas Junior Popov. Should Thomas clash with Anders, Anders has a beautiful head-to-head record against Thomas Junior Popov, so Anders will be the favorite. Should this happen, I do think that the semi-final clash would be again Alwi. I'm picking Alwi to make an impact in this tournament, probably against Anders. My pick for the finalists, Alex Lanier against Alwi Farhan, two contemporary player from the same era, from the same generation, young, energetic, fearless, and finally, I think Alex Lanier should be able to prevail to become the first world champion from France. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Please comment down below your prediction.